What's up, everybody? This is the 2023 Chrysler 300C. Huge thanks to Dean for providing me here with his brand new 300C to review for you guys today. And also shout out to Blackout Tinting and also to Laurel Valley Motors for providing Dean with a great experience with buying this 300C. So about the 300C, so this is a very rare limited edition for the final model year of this Chrysler 300, and they really are sending it off with a bang here. It finally gets the 6.4 liter V8, which it did have back in 2012 to 2014, but it's back now here. It's more powerful. It's got the new 8-speed automatic instead of the old 5-speed it used to have. And as far as the looks go, it doesn't really change much. It's very much a sleeper. You see the new 300C badge there in the grille, along with the black accents you see there in the lower part of the front bumper, and all the usual black accents you'd get on a sportier version of a 300 over the past decade or so here. But I always liked this generation of 300. I thought it looked really good. I love how you have these fender flares that are very subtle, the way it's sculpted into the body, and even like the little mini fin you have going towards the taillight there in the back. But anyway, as far as the other exclusive stuff here for the 300C, you get these 20-inch forged wheels that look great, and they're in black. You also get black exhaust tips in the back, and then otherwise it's pretty much the same as any other 300. You'll see, you know, on the sides here, so that same great boxy shape, and out back you do also get a rear lip spoiler there. That is another exclusive thing here for the 300C. But overall, it just is an awesome looking thing. I think it really has a lot of presence, especially here in this red color, which by the way is one of 3 colors you can get. There's no options for these aside from the color. It's just red, black, or white. And by the way, in case you're interested in one of these, they're already sold out. They only are building 2,000 for the US and 200 for Canada, and they sold out in 12 hours. So if you didn't get one already, you probably missed your chance, but it's great they did these at all, and it's a really nice send-off. The interior of the Chrysler 300C is basically the same as any other Chrysler 300 from the past several years, but there are a few unique touches. The main things here are that you have the 300C logo embossed in the back of these SRT seats, which are the same kind of seats you get in any other Charger or Challenger. They're heated and cooled and are really comfortable seats, even though, you know, the bolstering is pretty thick and aggressive. They still, you know, hug you in really nicely, are still really comfortable for long road trips, things like that. Really great seats. The other unique thing here is that you have carbon fiber trim here on the center console area, and you also get some silver stitching, which is a nice touch. But other than that, it's all the same. Now, one other important thing I will note is that you do get all the SRT stuff here in the software. Even though this isn't technically an SRT branded product, it has all that stuff. So in the gauge cluster there, you will see that you still have all your performance meters and all the, you know, gauge information, all that. But, you know, having all the performance stuff to measure 0 to 60s and all that is great. And you also will see that same stuff mirrored here in the 8.4-inch Uconnect touchscreen, which, you know, we'll be able to go through a little bit more stuff like the dyno and all those other little things in there. And it's really great that it still has that, and a nice inclusion here. Again, even though this isn't technically an SRT product, it kind of is, just without the name. But, you know, just really great you have that. And this screen still works great, you know, with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that. You also will see that you have the drive mode button and the launch control buttons here, like you get again on any other, you know, Charger. And so, yeah, but I mean, otherwise it's still just the same great, comfortable 300C interior. I still love the blue glow of these gauges, and I always thought these heated and cooled cup holders were a really cool idea as well. But anyway, overall, just, yeah, a really nice place to be still. But let's start up and go for a drive. Same Chrysler key here as any other 300, so nothing unique there, but still, you know, nice simple key. And you, of course, leave the key in your pocket because it's a push button start. So you just put your foot on the brake, hit the engine start button, and it roars to life. All right, so setting off here in the 300C. So the first thing you notice about these, well, I think the first thing you got to remember is you got this nice loud exhaust. It's an active exhaust here on the 300C, so it will open up whenever you're in those higher RPMs, but you can't change it with any kind of switch or mode or anything like that. But still great to have that nice loud exhaust. And also, I'm noticing you have a very eager throttle response, which we'll demonstrate here in a second, but it's just like the Charger Scat Pack, where it really, like, is very jumpy. You have to be very delicate with your throttle inputs, or else it's just going to want to take off on you. It's really fun, but yeah, it just takes a little more concentration. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put it up into the sport mode. That also does turn off electronic stability control whenever you're in sport mode, so that's one thing you got to keep in mind. But we're going to turn down onto this back road here and see how it does. And here we go. Yep, there's the wheel spin. All right, we're gonna slow it right back down. But yeah, this thing, oh, it sounds so good. So it runs, of course, the 6.4 liter Hemi V8 engine, does 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque, which is 15 more horsepower than the old one back in 2012 did. And so it's now running also through an 8-speed automatic, the ZF 8-speed, which is a fantastic transmission, much better than the old 5-speed, which is the only transmission we got with the old Chrysler 300 back in the day. For other markets around the world, whenever this continued on after we got it discontinued, they ended up getting the better transmission eventually, but we've never had a Chrysler 300 with this much power and this transmission before, and so it's really great you have that. And I didn't even have the transmission in its sport mode, by the way. There is also this extra sport mode. You can put that in to give you some even quicker responses, and we'll go ahead and do the paddle shifting. And it just starts whenever you're in, you start pulling the paddles, you get the manual mode going here, and really quick downshifts. And man, wow, yeah, just instant tire roasting. The second you step on it, it's so much fun. Part of the reason it's able to do that too is because you have the shorter final drive, the limited slip diff from the Scat Packs there. So it's a 309 limited slip rear diff, and so oh man, it sounds so good. It's so much fun. And we'll do another acceleration here in the manual mode. I haven't tried to like lean into the gas that time to not get wheel spin. It still just wants to spin them. Anyway, so other performance specs here to do: a 4.3 second 0 to 60, a 12.4 second quarter mile time, and 160 miles per hour for the top speed. But man, and I love, you can hear the little like burbles on the overrun, especially whenever you leave it in the manual mode here. And handling is also really good. So I haven't seen any updated curb weight for these, but back in 2012 when it had the same engine and most of the same stuff on the inside here, they were just under 4,400 pounds for the curb weight. But you know, with the adaptive dampers and stuff, it's totally fine now. Again, it'd be great to see some wider tires to help with the handling, but you know, it's done. This 300 is done. There's no wish list anymore. This is the end, most likely, of a V8 powered 300 and the 300 in general, for at least now. And so we just gotta take what we can get, and it's great that it has this. You know, obviously, even if you want to stick to the 245 wide, you know, style, you can also go to more aggressive tires. Go to a full summer tire as well if you want to have, you know, a little bit better handling performance. But that's not really what these are about. These are about being comfy cruisers with a ton of power. If you want to have the better handling, just go get the Charger, which is, I'd say, just as comfortable as this for the most part. Just a little less classy than the very sleek, sleeper kind of vibe you have here with the 300. But have another chance to slow down and accelerate. Oh, I love this thing. Oh, all these 6.4 liter powered vehicles are just so much fun and just so much character. And again, since they're hooked up to such a good transmission, it really just maximizes that fun and that performance and that speed. And it's great to use the manual shifters, which isn't something you can say about most other performance vehicles, honestly. A lot of them still aren't that great, but this man, and the way it rips off those shifts, you get the little like burp on the overrun there. And also, whenever you need to slow down, this thing's got 4 piston Brembo brakes. They're you know, an upgrade there as well over a regular 300. That is very nice to have the 4 piston Brembos there, give you some extra stopping power. And also, again, having those forged wheels also gonna be a little bit lighter as far as giving you a little bit better handling over a regular 300, of course, as well. And anyway, using those brakes now, I got a stop sign coming up on us quickly here, and do another acceleration, because why not? Here we go. Oh, jeez. I genuinely was not trying to do a huge burnout there. It's just, that's the way it is with these things. I had the same thing whenever I had the Scat Pack for a week, where it was just everywhere I went, the thing wanted to do burnouts, even whenever I was only like half throttle. It's so much fun. But if you're not trying to, you know, make a statement, you know, you just have to really be careful with your throttle inputs. And that's also, does that even in the regular auto, you know, normal mode. It's not even in just sport mode. It's hilarious, just part of the fun character of this vehicle. But anyway, other things here to note about this, you know, it's just still a really smooth ride even in sport mode here. So even if you do want to have, you know, the sportier response and everything, you can have that. There's also a custom mode, by the way, so you can go in and fine tune, and if you want certain things to be sporty, other things to be soft, you can have that as well. So you can have the best of all the worlds. And we have a couple tight corners here, about as tight as we're going to get around here. And you know, a nice tight corner here though. I was able to throw it in, and still does handle really well. Plenty of handling for, you know, what you're going for with something like this. And overall, I don't think anyone's gonna really complain with buying one of these. And by the way, you can't really complain too much anyway, because these are so rare. Again, like I said, they're already sold out in 12 hours. 2,000 for the US, 200 for Canada. And by the way, it doesn't really matter, because again, they're all sold out. But if you're curious, they're gonna cost about $56,500. And again, they only come with just the one trim here, because again, they're only doing 2,000 of them, and they you know, can charge whatever they want. And so I'm honestly impressed that it's as affordable as it is, because it's not much more expensive than, you know, any kind of old, you know, 300C or what you get on a Scat Pack, something like that. I mean, it's actually pretty cheap, and considering it's so rare and a limited edition, I was expecting these to even be more expensive than they are. So I actually have to commend Chrysler for, you know, not price gouging people on these, at least from the manufacturer side. We'll see what happens on the dealer side. And whenever you're just cruising at highway speeds, now this highway is like brand new with the paving here, but it's still really nice and quiet. That active exhaust quiets down really well, and it's still a really great cruiser, even if you don't want to be driving around like a crazy person all the time. But yeah, overall, the 300C is pretty much what you were expecting, most likely. It's basically a Scat Pack version of the 300. It feels great to drive, has all the same great characteristics you've probably grown to love in those Scat Packs over the years. And you know, it would have been cool to see some type of Hellcat version of this to send it off as well. But again, beggars can't be choosers. I'm just glad they did anything for the last year here, and they were sending it out with a bang with the 6.4. It's great to see this motor come back for this one final year. And so anyway, that's about all of my thoughts here on the 300C. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Huge thanks once again to Dean for providing me here very generously with his brand new 300C here. This one's going to be a keeper for life for him, and I totally can appreciate that and understand that. It's a very special car, definitely one worth collecting and keeping and enjoying, because again, this is the end of the 300 as we know it, at least for now, the end of a V8 power 300, probably almost certainly forever. And you know, just a very incredibly special car, and one that, you know, I'm sad to see go as well. It's you know, one I'm gonna go home tonight and have a drink in honor of the 300C here, and of all these awesome Hemi fire-breathing things here that are all going to be done here after the 2023 model year. But congrats to all of you who are able to grab some of these and hold them and enjoy them for as long as possible. It's, you know, great that we have all these final runs of all these very special Mopar vehicles here, and great to see that the 300 wasn't left out of the party, and you know, gets its own fun version here to send it off. But man, I'm gonna miss that sound. These things, oh, so sweet. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.